Very similar to yesterday. I thought there was very good energy. I thought in all three phases of the game, especially on offense, with the I guess you'd call the dynamic guys showing up again 2 days in a row. So it's great to see. I think that you probably notice number 7 and number 2's timing together seems to be on its way back. So I would have to say another really good practice in a row, 2 in a row.
I know you didn't say yes. When we asked if Robert was 100%, you didn't say exactly whether he was, but he looks really fast. I mean, when he turns and runs, does he look that way?
Yeah, he looks fast. You know, I think he's still got a ways to go, but he's definitely the best he's been.
Xavier Grimble seems like he's having some trouble with catching the ball. Is that kind of just like a mental thing where you get into that groove and you can't get out of it, or is it something else?
Well, you get out of it. It's just like shooting a basketball. You know, you go up and down, and you have some streaks. And surprisingly, he's kind of hit a cold one here over 2 days. You're right about that, which is unusual because he's a very natural catcher that has really good hands. You know, sometimes you can tell which guys are going to go through those more often, and I wouldn't have guessed him, so he'll be fine.
Is Drew McAllister a guy that you'd like to find a role for in the defense, because he's shown in the past that he can be a playmaker, a guy who can get takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, we like to find roles for everybody, and Drew's obviously part of that. And whether that's on special teams, defense, both, you know, he's been here a long time, and you know, it'd be great for him to have a really good season.
Have grades not been posted yet for the summer semester, or is there something else holding up Isaiah and Marquise's?
We just don't have a final answer. That's all I can say.
Do they have to get reinstated by the NCAA after their grades are posted?
They're not with us right now. We're waiting for an answer.
Earlier in camp, you said that you wanted to name a number 2 quarterback going into the season because of the rep allotment, but then on Sunday, you kind of said something different, that there was no date on that. Can you sort of clarify what your plan is?
Well, we're not in the season yet, and so we haven't named one yet. We would like to when we get into the season. I consider the season to really be that week of practice when we really go against Hawaii looks, and we're not there yet. But I'd like to do that, but if we haven't, it's not the end of the world, because I think both of them have a really good grasp of our offense, and I could see scenarios where both will play.
You pleased that DJ was able to come back today and get something done?
Yeah, I think really he's had a good attitude in general this camp, and has really pushed himself. Where in the past maybe he's got beat up and you know, kind of went in the training room, and now I feel like he's really, you know, trying to get out here and fight through it. So it's good to see, and it's part of maturity.
How much of a recruiting advantage do you think that new building gives you? I mean, I know you got this academics and your facility, but from a recruiting standpoint, what does that mean to your program?
Well, I don't have to guess. You know, but we've already seen the impact of it. You know, before it was built, just the videos of what it was going to be like, which would tell the story of how it is today, but that couldn't even do it. But just that, you know, kids would see that, and families would see that, and out-of-state families would see that and know that that was kind of their new home. And they've, you know, over the course of last year, there's been a lot of recruits or signees now at this point that have walked through there with their families. You know, prior to being done, they could see where it was going. So it's a huge advantage. You know, not only did we catch up because we were way behind our conference in the country, I think we not only caught up, but we passed probably everybody.
Is there a certain part of the building that players seem to respond to the most, that they think is the coolest?
Yeah, I think they love the Players Lounge, you know, because it gives them the time. It's not as much because of the stuff in there with video game stuff. It's really just not having to trek back. There was really nowhere to go. Literally, our players, you'd see them laying on the floor of Heritage Hall, you know, when they'd have an hour, or down in the locker rooms laying on the floor. And now they at least have somewhere to kind of buy some time, you know, maybe get a quick nap in or quick studying before they take off, instead of have to go all the way back to their place and come back.
Players like the lounge. What do the moms like? What do they look at and say?
I think the feeling of it. I think really when you walk through and you feel that your own child is going to be in there, you know, especially from an academic standpoint, and everything's there. And then, you know, the people haven't changed, you know, but now you put the people in a place like that. When you combine them, I know that the moms feel really good about it.
I heard Buck Allen is considered football young by some people on his coaching staff, but he seems like he's had a couple of really good days in a row. Just what are your impressions of how he's coming?
Buck has come a long ways. You're right, football young. You know, he missed time with injury when he was in high school with the knee, and so he's missed time with us with some injuries. So you're right, he's very young football-wise. So hopefully he continues to improve at the rate that he's going.
Have you heard anything on Darius Rogers' situation?
I have not.
Do you guys need to find out by a certain day to help you? I mean, to help what you need to do with the scholarship limits with Darius, or does it not matter?
Well, we'd like to know any of these answers as soon as we can, but they're out of our control. And so.
Well, when you said earlier that you had to have there was a deadline, it was the first day of school to notify the NCAA. Just to clarify, does it matter if you're under 75? That's okay, or you just have to make sure that you're 75 or less? Like it doesn't matter exactly.
75 or less, and
okay.
as you can see, it's not going to be an issue.
You don't have to give them like
75.
this is the exact list. It's just the number has to be 75.
Well, they know
or
it.
lower.
You turn in your scholarships. You know, so obviously your players are recorded who's on scholarship. Yeah.
So are some of the guys you've given, the walk-ons you've given scholarships for, not on scholarship as of right now?
Correct, but there's nothing to be on scholarship about right now. But yes, that would be
So
true for the upcoming year. As of now, yes.
Can you say who they are?
No.
When you do, is there a deadline to do that, to award the scholarships to the guys like you have done, in the past? Does that have to be done by a certain
No,
time?
but you'd like to do that, especially before the first day of school. You'd like to do that, but there's not a deadline. No. We do have a football team that plays football out here too. If you guys want to ask any questions about that. All right. Good.
Thanks.